Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Triple Double Nation. Today I'll be covering 5 insane blockbuster NBA trade ideas for 2021. Let's get into the video. NBA trade machines are running on fumes. Between a forgettable free agent class, the twists and turns taken in the James Harden sweepstakes, and the perpetual interest in basketball's next blockbuster, fans and media alike have been wearing out the online resources used to create hypothetical trades. Naturally, we're here to add to the wear and tear, but what's the fun in dissecting potential deals that have already been discussed ad nauseum? We want something new and different. You deserve something new and different. You deserve, well, the following 5 off the radar but definitely could happen mega swaps. Let's get into the video. Number 5, Blazers bulk up, Cavaliers add assets. Portland is, as per usual, pretty good, but that's not good enough. Not to play the shared peaks of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and certainly not enough to escape the Western Conference. The Blazers need better balance to halt their defensive decline and prevent further damage on the glass. They need Andre Drummond, a 6'10", 279-pound package of bulk, bounce, and all the boards that the Pacific Northwest could ever want. The big fella is steamrolling toward his 5th rebounding title in 6 seasons and using his size and quick hands to disrupt opponents' activity at a staggering rate. If his rates hold, this will be his 4th straight season with a 4.0 block percentage and a 2.0 percentage steal. Anthony Davis and Nerlens Noel are the only other players to clear those marks more than twice in that stretch. Drummond, who's also averaging a career best 18.7 points, is a punisher around the basket and a better passer than you think. He's also likely to be deemed expendable by the Cavaliers after they sneaked into the Harden trade to steal Jarrett Allen if Cleveland doesn't envision a future where Drummond, an unrestricted free agent to be, then flipping him for assets is a smart play. Cleveland probably doesn't want a total demolition since it's proved quite plucky this season, so it would add useful rotation pieces in Jusuf Nurkic and ignitable scoring wing Rodney Hood, who can't be traded until after February 18th. But the Cavs also shouldn't be solely focused on the present, so they'd bring back intriguing 20-year-old Nasir Little and a future second-rounder. That's a healthy return for a player the Cavs acquired for next to nothing at the 2020 deadline. Number 4, Suns find their power forward, Hawks find a future first. The Hawks haven't come out and said they're ready to move on from John Collins, but the writing is on the wall and the script sure looks like it came from general manager Travis Schlenk. Collins was extension eligible this offseason and reportedly sought max money. Atlanta reportedly offered about $90 million instead. Collins can fill the 4 and 5 spots. The Hawks have heavily invested in other options at that position, from sacrificing a first-round pick to get Client Capella to spending the number 6 selection on Onyeka Onwenu, to signing Danilo Gallinari to a 3-year, $61.5 million deal. Collins is also growing tired of Atlanta's Trae Young-centric offense, perhaps because Collins is averaging his fewer shots and points in 3 seasons in a contract year no less. At the very least, Atlanta should be gauging Collins' market, and Phoenix should have an offer ready as soon as the phone call comes through. The Suns are making strides during Chris Paul's first season in the desert, but they could use more consistency at the power forward position than newcomer Jay Crowder and sophomore Cameron Johnson can provide. Collins can put up silly stat lines in his sleep. Last season, he was one of 4 players to average 20 points and 10 rebounds. Franchise centerpieces Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Karl Anthony Towns were the others. Playing with Paul could get Collins the ball movement as he's after, and the point guard could maximize his impact as a pick-and-roll screener. There should be enough spacing for the Collins-DeAndre Ayton front court to work, and head coach Monty Williams could stagger their minutes a bit to give each free reign on the interior. Having Crowder as a full-time second-teamer could make this already strong bench mob even more potent. Atlanta, meanwhile, would turn a player it's seemingly okay losing into 2019's number 11 pick, and a slightly protected future first from a team with a 35-year-old point guard. Number 3, Pelicans strengthen supporting cast, Bulls reset. The Bulls and Pelicans are both struggling to gain traction this season. The difference between them is that New Orleans already has a pair of foundational pieces to build around in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. Chicago, on the other hand, must soon decide whether the best players left behind by the previous regime are worth keeping. Lauri Markkanen will enter restricted free agency this offseason when the two sides discuss an extension before the season. They were roughly $4 million apart for the starting salary figure in the first year of a multi-year deal, Casey Johnson reported for NBC Sports Chicago. Zach LaVine will be an unrestricted free agent in 2022, and the first-time All-Star candidate is going to get the bag. He's a max player, an Eastern Conference executive told BR's Eric Pincus. The Bulls might be understandably hesitant to commit major coin to a core that hasn't proved it can win. If that's the case, the Pelicans should be ready to cash in some assets for the supporting scoring and floor spacing relief Williamson and Ingram so desperately need. Despite getting more than 46 points per contest from its top two stars, New Orleans sits just 20th in offensive efficiency due to a severe shooting shortage. LaVine and Markkanen would immediately scratch that itch. Together they're splashing 6 triples per night at a combined 39.1% clip. They'd immediately jolt this offense, and if New Orleans is ready to commit to both, it might have its foundation fully set. LaVine would be the senior member of this quartet at 25 years old. Ingram and Markkanen are 23. Williamson won't turn 21 till July. This club could be a playoff participant this season or next and a problem in the few years. Ryan makes the money work, but he could also provide backcourt depth if New Orleans young guards aren't quite ready for rotation roles. Chicago would be pouncing on the picks as roster building material, but for a club that has struggled with ball movement, Lonzo Ball could be a good get even with his shooting struggles. Jackson Hayes is a project big man worth developing to see if his tools translate into more production. Eric Bledsoe is equal parts money matcher, serviceable starter, and perhaps future trade tool. Number 2, Wizards give Beal scoring support, Knicks take the long view. I get it. The fun part about discussing potential Wizards deals is the idea of relocating Bradley Beal elsewhere, ideally somewhere where proper scoring support and, the ability to defend a parked car. But Washington hasn't wavered on the idea that Beal is its building block, so maybe the focus should be on building something more sustainable around him. Why not throw a flyer at Julius Randle? Is there a chance his stats are inflated by his own underwhelming supporting cast? Sure. But that doesn't mean the production should be outright overlooked. How many other players are even capable of averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists? Right now, the answer is 1. MVP candidate Nikola Jokic. That's a statistical company Randle is keeping. You can try knocking the numbers, but they're as solid as Charles Oakley's screen. Number 1, Mavs get their third star, Rockets get another first rounder. Luka Doncic is a magician, but there's a reason magicians keep assistants close by their side. Even the great ones need help, and Doncic isn't getting enough of it to put a serious dent in the Western Conference race. While he's busy auditioning for MVP, the 8 and 9 Mavs are spinning their tires at 10th in the West and 15th in net rating. Dallas has been third star hunting for a while, and its balanced books opens the door to a major expenditure in 2021 free agency. But what if the Mavs could make their splash before then? And what if this cannonball addition did nothing to disrupt their financial flexibility? That option is on the table in the form of Victor Oladipo, a free agent to be, who's getting his numbers back to near his pre-injury level. Get him on the Mavericks and he'd be simultaneously filling support scoring, secondary shot creating, and point of attack defensive voids. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.